There we go. Alrighty. Everything seems to be working. It's funny how proprietary software can work like that. But for a second, I thought the call froze. But yeah, man, it looks like you and I were out pretty late, equally late last night.
Mm-hmm. Yep. For once.
I know, right?
My dad was like, "That's awesome, man. You went somewhere else after a party."
After party, dude. You always have to.
No, it was a graduation party at a bar, and then I was there for almost 5 hours.
You were
I
at
went
the
to my buddy's house.
bar for 5 hours, or at the party for 5 hours?
Well, the party was at the bar, so I was at the bar for 5 hours.
Holy shit!
I don't drink much. I think I had a couple beers. That's it.
There you go.
I'm a responsible drinker. And then, like, I'm leaving. Like, I'm at the end of the parking lot about to turn onto 724, and my buddy texts me. He's like, "Hey, come to my house." I'm like, "Okay." So I drove to his house at 1 this morning.
There
And
you go.
I was there till probably a little after 2:30, and I'm like, I need to go home because it's a 20-minute drive to get back to my house. He's farther than you. I'll pass Blacksmith Road,
Oh, okay.
where somebody took out a pole this morning.
Yeah, that's I saw that from the accident from my house.
I drove past MedEd fixing it at 2 something this morning.
Yeah, I got home around 2:30 this morning myself.
I probably passed you that.
You might have, honestly. We were probably within minutes of each other.
Where were you at? Rigner's?
Yeah, I was.
I figured.
Yeah, I haven't seen them in 5 months, and I open up their fridge, and Jimmy's standing over me, and he's like, "I know you like rum, Chuck." Points out a bottle of rum. He's like, "It tastes like piss, but you can have the rest of it." And I was like, Natty Light's like a way of life where I come from. Took a swig. I'm like, it's not that bad. Drink the rest of the bottle. I was pretty good for the night. It was only equivalent to like 2 shots.
Oh, that's
So,
not bad.
but so let's talk about you and your fitness and where we've been at because we haven't had this conversation or a conversation in what 3 weeks?
It's been a month.
Been a month. Okay.
Has been a month, yes.
What has changed for you?
Mid-April was the last time we talked.
What?
Mid-April was the last time we talked.
Okay. So what has changed in a month?
I stopped going to the gym.
Ah, this guy.
I mean, I'm going back, obviously.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is upper body. What I'm going to try to do to push myself a little bit more is have people come with me if I can.
Yeah, buddy. I think tomorrow or I think today I'm doing a pull day myself, and then tomorrow I'm gonna do a push.
I have no idea what that means, but okay.
Pull day is pulling movements, so back and biceps mainly. Sometimes your delts, so like a shoulder shrug. Push day would be everything that you extend with, so like more shoulders, triceps, chest, you name it.
Yeah, how's that bench going for you?
Bench, it's going good. I think I'd have to look at my book. I think I'm barbell benching. I think it's 145.
That's pretty good.
It's not bad considering. I mean, bench it. I think it's been building my chest really well. It's funny with my shoulders. I really got to watch it. I'm taking it slow.
It's a lot of free weight.
I mean, I'm used to using the dumbbells, which I have more control with my shoulders. So, I
Right.
mean, it's one of those things. But I like it. It's a movement I wish I started doing earlier.
I told my buddy, Brandon last night. I said, "Hey, I did deadlifts for the first time on Friday night." He's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, would you do like 180, 190?" I'm like, "No, no, way more than I thought I was going to do." He's like, "How much did you do?" I'm like, "One rep of 265," and he looked at me and he's like, "What?"
Hell yeah. Now, did you tell him it was a sumo deadlift or just a regular deadlift?
I didn't tell him it was a sumo deadlift.
All right. I mean, deadlift's a deadlift, but that does matter. Oh, Matt's awake. Good morning, Matt.
B City, I love you, B City.
You got to keep the language safe for work because this video is going online. People can see this video.
Guess that matters.
That's
then.
really only to Matt. So, how about your food and what you've been eating? How's that been going for the last month?
Not very well.
That's understandable.
Large portions, like oversized large portions. Reacclimate my stomach. But chicken's going to become my best friend again, I see in my future.
Yeah, definitely.
Stress eating, a lot of stress eating from school, to be honest. It was becoming hectic and chaotic.
I'll tell you what, I can relate. That's actually one of the first things I wanted to hit today. So, for the people watching this video or going to be watching this video, I myself, for the last month, have kind of let myself go. You all right, Matt? He's tripping over everything. So, what cable is that?
It's his internet cable.
Oh, I was wondering why it was so long. So, yeah, mid-April was like the end of my mini cut, so I was 160 pounds.
Yeah.
And then I just started getting fucking hungry, like ravenously hungry. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Just gonna start eating a little bit more, enjoying myself, because I already proved myself that I can lose a shitload of weight in very little time.
Still look good. You probably, honestly, your body right now looks better than you did when you first came home.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you don't look like you lost too much weight. This time you look like you're at a perfect, consistent proportion.
Well, I'm actually going to get to that in a moment, considering that's what you just said. So, 160 pounds, that's like my sweet spot. That's like not too fat, but I'm not too skinny. Definitely not shredded or anything, but it's a pretty good body weight for me. Maybe 16, 15% body fat. So, but then, I started eating a lot. I started partying, a little bit more. I know I partied a lot during the semester, and a lot is like walk over to the party, stand around for an hour, and come back, do that once a week. Quote unquote partying more for me.
It's a mental break more than anything else.
Yeah, it's basically walking next door and saying hi to the boys, because that's where our parties were. It's right next to my...
5% of the reason I either went to work at the gym was just to have a mental break.
Pretty much. But I started, I was like, the hell with it. I'll have a couple drinks here and there. And my big thing is not waking up with hangovers. So I found out that, whiskey and beer is a pretty bad idea for Charles. I always get a hangover. But if I drink and eat if I drink and eat enough food, with any quantity of like a hard liquor, because that's what I like rum and vodka.
Of course. Oh yeah, I know.
I'll be fine. So, formals, parties, birthday parties, hand me a bottle of Captain Morgan, and it's like, it's a vanishing act. And then, I'm drunk. Charles is actually thinking rationally. He's like, I need to wake up tomorrow morning and be coherent and ready to study. So drunk Charles is like, where are the carbs? And that was my problem. So I ended up I went up to 170, and I would say I was probably 20% body fat at 170. But I'm not going to lie, every time I had those like really intense food eating days, I woke up the next day and I was fine. I wasn't... Yo, if you're going to Wawa, 12-ounce coffee. Hey, can you please get me a coffee? It's easy.
You want to roll with me?
No, I'm in the middle of this video. 12-ounce coffee, hazelnut, black, 2 yellow sweeteners. That's it.
I mean, if Matt's buying, can I get a 16-ounce? Got a creamer?
I mean, he'd have to deliver it to you in Birdsboro.
All right, Spender, you
drive that stick here. Learn how to drive on a hill.
He told you you have to pay international shipping fees.
International?
Yeah.
15 minutes away at most. I'm generous at saying 15 minutes.
Matt, make sure it's those yellow sweeteners.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Oh man, now I don't have to run to Wawa. Cool. I've been cutting back on my caffeine intake. And
I still don't really drink coffee, and even if and when I do, it's only black. I will not do any creamer or sugar. And people look at me and go, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like, it hits me harder when I drink it black than I do when I add the sugar and the creamer.
Yeah, I put a little bit of a artificial sweetener in it, and that's it. But
that's Splenda.
Pretty much, yeah. No, it's Splenda. But yeah, so I went up to 170. But the thing is, I remained consistent with the gym, and with all those high calorie days, a lot of these fitness gurus say that you shouldn't be training, day after drinking. But I'm always fine, because I take care of myself while drinking. Excuse me.
Fucking out water, I understand.
No, it's not bronchitis, but it's something close to it because of allergies. But
at least you don't smoke.
Yeah. Nonetheless, dude, I had some amazing training days, and my endurance and my strength went through the roof with all those extra calories I was eating. But as I told you a couple days ago, I got to 170. I was like, all right, I don't want to get any more weight, so I cut off the drinking, and I cut off the massive quantity eating. But I wasn't looking to like starve myself, and I wasn't looking to diet down immediately. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna hold out till the end of the semester, and then I'll go on a long-term diet for the summer.
Right.
So I ended up just starting eating kind of naturally. Instead of tracking my macros, I was just, I'm gonna eat until I'm content, and then I'll put it in and I'll see what I'm at. Did it for a couple days, and it turns out I was eating 2,500 calories a day and being content, and I'm not gaining any weight. So
that's pretty good.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised. That's my new maintenance. This is sitting around doing nothing. 2,500 calories, which is more calories than ever. So
that metabolism.
Yeah, and as I told you, I've been on the ketogenic diet now for a couple days now, and most of it's usually water. But I weighed in this morning at 167.6, and I'm still eating 2,500 calories. So
that's the most you've weighed in like 6 months.
What?
The most you weighed in like 6 months.
Well, 170 was, but yeah.
I'll get there. Maybe not that low, because for my height that'd be terrible. But
I mean, I did eat. Like when I got home last night, I was so hungry. I did eat 5 chicken thighs, which comes out to about 1.5 pounds.
I'm about to say that's like 6 to 8 ounces a piece.
No, they're not that big. They're smaller than the size of my fist. But
even still, 4 or 5 ounces.
I estimated it to be about 20 ounces, so it's like 1.25 pounds. So if I didn't eat that chicken, I may have weighed in at 165. But we will never know. But
that protein, no.
Yeah, no, dude. But yeah, so that's been me. I've been consistent with the gym. I haven't been consistent with my diet. I have body fat, to show for it, but I also have new gym PRs. So that's the shitty thing, man, with calories. It's like it really honestly like lesson learned. If you want to have the performance, you've got to eat. But if you start eating a lot, you're going to pay for it.
Eat too much, you become sluggish.
Yeah, maybe, but alrighty. So, do you want to move? Do you want to hear the big topic I have for today?
Oh God, that's concerning.
I want to talk about my gripes with the fitness industry.
Oh God, why do we have to hear about your issues?
Well, I just want to hear your perspective on it, because
to me, honestly, there's only so much that you have to be able to actually listen, because so many people out there, oh, this worked for me. Okay, that worked for you. It's not going to work for me. You take 2 days to rest muscles. I take 3 to 5, at least for right now, because that's all I've managed to make time for the last 5 months. But sometimes it's not so much about consistency or what you eat. Sometimes it's just about knowing when to stop or knowing when to start. Period. And if you see results, you see results. If you don't see results, then there's something you still have to change. But there's only so much that you can research that's actually going to work for you.
That's true. No, that's a fair point.
I would never be able to do the keto that you're doing. Not in a million years. No way in hell. The
No.
water aspect is about it.
You know, I really enjoy the ketogenic diet, and for me, it works well. It may be a genetic thing. It may be a palate thing. I really enjoy the food that I eat on keto more so than a quote unquote normal diet. I mean, it's very easy to, cook oatmeal and cream of wheat and eat tons of vegetables and carbs and things like that. Relatively inexpensive, but for me, the problem is it's never filling, it's never satiating, and it leaves me empty. And honestly, like I'll eat 2 cups of oatmeal. I'll look to the guy to the left, and they feel like they're gonna bulge, and I look to the guy to the right, and they're like, "You're nuts." And I look at my plate, it's empty, and I'm like, I'm still hungry. You know,
You
but
need to go to Shady Maple, my friend.
what?
You need to go to Shady Maple, my friend.
Oh, I put everybody away. I put everybody
I've seen
away.
some pretty big people there. The last time I was there was a guy that had to have 2 chairs to sit on.
Christ. Well, that's just being obese. I'm talking raw quantity. How much can you eat? But that's not the focus of what I'm trying to kind of hit on right now. What I'm trying to hit on is what I mean by gripes in the fitness industry. I'm talking about um, the individuals who kind of promote different ideas and aspects that are just simply not true, or they're really kind.
Like I want to say Jillian Michaels, but I don't think that's her name.
I don't know who that is, but I'm just trying to give some general baseline advice, and I want to kind of, like ask you a series of questions to, determine like what do you think maybe it's good or not. So the first problem I have a gripe with the fitness industry are the workout plans that you can find for free online. So for years, right? I would go on bodybuilding.com and I would, look at the training routines and I would try to figure out why certain guys would train a certain way. And basically, what I came to find out is a lot of these training routines were made for guys on steroids. So when you would have a natural guy do it, hold on, I need to let my dog out.
Good.
I don't think I can pause the recording, so I'll have to cut it. But I will be right back.
It's all good.
I don't know about you, Swinda, but I bought myself a fresh pair of kicks yesterday. White Adidas, man. My old pair went to shit. I need a fresh pair of Adidas. My babies.
You're talking to a guy who's never bought anything aside from a Nike because everything else gives him issues.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm very much a flat foot guy, so I'm always wearing jocks or not jocks, chucks. God, I'm not awake. I'm always wearing chucks or some knockoff chucks.
I've actually never owned a pair of those.
Really? They're not.
Ethan only wears them to the gym when he's doing like squats and shit because they're flat.
I have. Yeah, I mean you can do that. I have a real pair of like squatting shoes, so. But no, I've always had chucks just because they're cheap, but they've actually like the legit like Converse brand. They're actually kind of expensive, so I just buy knockoffs. Dude, my lower back hurts so bad from this cough. Not from deadlifts.
That you're going to say from deadlifting 265 the other day.
No, dude, not from deadlifts, not from anything else. It's from coughing all the time.
You know what that is?
What?
Might have a bruised rib. My boss had that.
A bruised rib.
Yeah, you put too much pressure on your ribs in a short period of time, in like a 2-week time period, you can actually bruise the inside portion of your rib.
I've been coughing like this for 2 months.
You probably have a bruised rib then.
It might. I mean, it's getting worse progressively. It's really starting to hurt.
Yeah, that happens.
Right now, I'm putting these shoes on. I'm just waiting for my dog to start barking because as soon as she does, she doesn't shut up, and I gotta bring her back in.
Freaking hams are on fire this morning.
There you go. Yeah, you know what? Like sometimes, like when I find that I haven't trained a body group for a long time, or I'm just like haven't trained for a while, and I'm just getting back into it. You know, the day after training is sore, but it's like not that bad. 2 days after training is the worst for me usually. I'm actually like as far as like the muscles we train, I'm fine. The deadlifts were challenging, but that's only because my grip and my lower back are not developed enough for it for me to do more reps at 265.
Yeah.
Like, my legs are strong enough.
I have no development.
My legs are like more than strong enough because I mean I've been doing the entire rack, you know, for almost a year now.
They have a lower back core machine at my gym that tops out at 230, 250. And I can do the whole stack, but I can't do many reps of it.
Huh. Alright, let me go get my dog real quick.
You good?
Bochi. Oh man, these kicks are fresh. Come on, dog. Yep. Can't get in here. Can't cop. All right, I'm officially back. Back to gripes with the fitness industry. So, My first gripe was the workout programs, and the reason I say that is because what a lot of fitness gurus slash personal trainers try to do is that they'll put out free content on websites like bodybuilding.com, which nothing against bodybuilding.com, but most of these guys are on steroids or they're enhanced in some way. And when you're enhanced, you can train differently. You actually just most of these guys train ridiculous amounts of volume. But then they'll prescribe the same programs that they're actually, kind of doing and expect natural lifters to do it and see the same results and look the same way. And the fact of the matter is, it's just simply not true. Now, most of these programs mean well, right? And you can get results in some of these programs. I've done a ton of Chris Gethin's programs, but at the same time, I don't think a program like that is sustainable, you know what I mean? And I don't think you'll see the best results as a natural lifter. There are other programs, I would look at like Chris Gethin's program and we're doing 100 sets or something like that. And then I'll look at another program, we're doing 20 sets. And I would wonder, why are we doing so much less volume? And then I come to find that 20 to 25 sets is considered high volume if your rep range is high enough. So I'm being confused, as a novice lifter. I have nobody to talk to. I've only had the internet as my ally. And I came to find that, it really comes down to whether these guys are enhanced. So one thing I try to tell people, if they're looking for a routine online, you got to be aware of the fact that, some of these guys are on steroids and they're selling you programs that are just not meant for, I don't want to say the average Joe, but the natural lifter.
Right.
And it's when I started realizing this, I actually started doing research on like the best kind of lifting routines that natural lifters should do. I looked at some of the old school bodybuilding stuff, like real old stuff before these guys started doing steroids. I started doing a lot of research and reading papers and articles, and I just developed a fitness routine that's kind of akin to what I know I like, what's wrong with my body, and certain movements that I work around it. And I've gotten great results in size and strength because of it. So, it's amazing how you can adjust your lifting routine, not adjust anything else, and just, you can see the results kind of unveil themselves, over a period of time. And it's something I warn people when they're trying to subscribe to an ideology or they're subscribing to a role model. That's why I really like male physique competitors over bodybuilders, because a lot of male physique competitors are not enhanced. Now, some of these guys, they have their ulterior motives or their underlying motives. I wouldn't say ulterior motives, to sell and make money. That's fine. You got to put food on the table. But a really good example of somebody that I do like is like Christian Guzman. He's a real big name in the fitness industry. He's not a pro male physique competitor, but he does have a company that sponsors pro male physique competitors. And I watch all those guys too, like Igor, I can't pronounce his last name, or Rob Lipsett. These are all European male physique competitors. These guys look fantastic, right? And they're not crazy either, but they have physiques that are 100% naturally attainable. They're not doing steroids. They're not doing growth hormone. Yeah, I would argue that these guys have pretty wonderful genetics for it. I would say Rob Lipsett has amazing genetics to stay shredded year round. And Igor has pretty amazing genetics considering how tall the guy is. But then you look at somebody like, God, and I don't follow like modern day bodybuilding for this reason, unless it's like natural physique. You can look at like Callum Von Moger. He competes in natural physique bodybuilding. There's no way that fucker is not natural, right? He's on steroids. You could look at Jeff Seed or Jeff Seed, whatever his name is. That guy, he's a male physique competitor. He's 21. That guy's on steroids though. He's humongous, right? And unfortunately, if you buy into these guys' programs, these guys that are clearly, enhanced, they are giving you things that are just, it's ill advice for the natural trainer. So that's my biggest gripe, or one of my biggest gripes for the fitness industry right now. That just, that false pretense when it comes to training. What do you have to think about that? Have you ever, I don't know if you've ever kind of like fallen in the trap of, looking at workout routines online or.
Not even a little bit.
Okay.
Not even a little bit. Because my problem is, I just do not care that much. Because I have enough people in my life at this point that I know and I'm friends with that I can be like, hey, what have you done for this? There's you, there's my friend Dolby, there's a guy at my work named Steve. He's been weightlifting and doing stuff for probably close to as long as we've been alive at this point.
You're fortunate. I never had anybody start. For most things I've ever done, I've never had anybody to talk to or help me out. I've always had to figure it out on my own. So I'm glad you have that because there's other things that are kind of like bullshit as well. Like we could probably be sitting here for 2 hours talking about all the fad diets and all the different protocols that people follow that are like the guaranteed way to lose weight or the guaranteed way to gain weight as far as like diets go.
And what drinking alcohol is not one of them.
Oh yeah, no, of course not. But like one thing that I hate is it's the kind of, how do I say, the fad train of the fitness industry and what you should be eating, right? And characters like Dr. Oz, are perpetrators of this shit. So I mean, like for instance, during the 50s and 60s, Americans ate a very balanced diet. We didn't have food labels or anything. We just kind of ate so we naturally were content. You know, products had, decent amount of fats and moderate amount of sugar in them, but they weren't crazy. And for the most part, people weren't that overweight. I think maybe 10% of Americans were fat. And that was only regarded to people who had the wealth to eat that much. Throughout the 70s, we started to become more concerned with food. And, well into the 80s, there was a couple of correlative studies that were done between people who consumed large amounts of fat and whether or not they were obese or not. And what they found is that there was a correlative data that suggested that. And so what companies started to do is, oh, fat makes you fat. We're going to cut the fat out of food, put it on labels, tell the general public, and then what we're going to start doing to make food taste good, so we're going to increase all of the sugars. And then you had the obesity epidemic rise throughout the 80s. Oh, thanks, bro. Coffee delivered. Already. With a hole. But yeah. So you have this problem. Now you've got people saying, oh, if you eat fat, you're going to gain weight. That's not true. So all throughout the 80s and 90s, that was the huge fad. Low fat, high carb diet, and it doesn't work. Now, and then, as we progressed through the 90s, people started to figure that out. And then you've got people like Dr. Atkins who, on one hand, I commend for breaking the tide. On the other hand, he kind of took it to an extreme. Because in the Atkins diet, you eat a high-fat, moderate amount of protein, but you eat no carbs. That's dangerous. Now we're starting to hit an equilibrium where it's become more acceptable to talk about these alternative lifestyles and these alternative diets. Because as more research comes out, we're finding that, there is no universal guideline for what you're supposed to eat, right? There's only kind of, experimentation and just kind of figuring out what works for you. So for instance, when I work with people such as yourself, I'm working with another person right now, right? A brother in my fraternity. What I find, is most effective is that we should start people off all in the same place. A standard diet, a standard partitioning of calories, fats, proteins, and then we'll use calorie restriction and energy expenditure to lose weight. However, if that individual is willing to commit to a different type of lifestyle, like the one I live, a ketogenic lifestyle, then so be it. I've done tons of different diets. I think the only diet I haven't truly tried is like a pure vegan diet.
You don't want to go that route.
No, I don't plan on it. I eat too much protein and I love meat too much.
Word.
But, I mean, there's another example. There are people out there who say, you must be vegan, you must do paleo, and anything else, you'll just be fat. And that's not true. And I go on forums, I go on, subreddits, and it's atrocious. Like, actually, right now, I'm going to do it. Here's something I don't like about the ketogenic community. Reddit.com. You can't see this, but I'm recording my screen. So one thing I hate about the keto community is that there's this kind of crazy idea that you need to fast for extreme amounts of time. And
Either I just like food too much.
Intermittent fasting, where you don't eat for 18 hours and then you give yourself, or not 18 hours, like 16, 18 hours, and you give yourself an 8-hour window to eat, that's totally fine, in my opinion. That's what I do. But then there are people who are like, I'm going to go on a week-long fast, or I'm going to go for a 72-hour fast.
Talk about desperation to lose weight.
Yeah, like, scrolling through, like, I'm just trying to find... I'm probably just going to search this because I saw this all last week. How about past month? Wow. The search on Reddit's website is useless. How about fasting? I distinctly remember a guy talking about a 72-hour fast.
Ugh.
Like, here's one. Just the headline is scary. Like, these are the ideas that people get that I don't recommend. Like, this is not how you lose weight. And goddamn, my internet is slow as shit right now. 36 hours fasting.
Standard T1 line, 1.5 megabits per second.
This guy fasted himself for 36 hours. He claims to have lost 3 pounds. Then he posted an update that he passed the 60-hour mark and he will end his fast after 72 hours. And now he wants to include this in every 3 months. Now, I totally understand if you fast for religious reasons, but this guy wants to make this a habit. And then we go into the comments, and you have nothing but the community supporting him. And I'm sorry, but if you're a male, and most of these guys are, and you're fasting for any extended period of time, we're talking days without eating. That's
I could
not
do that.
healthy. That's not healthy.
That's like anorexic eating disorder.
You know what? Yeah, you are literally starving yourself. And okay,
Your body will burn the muscle and eat the muscle before it'll eat the fat.
yes,
Fat is the absolute last resort.
yes,
Yes.
that is so true. And you know what? Like, what I find kind of scary is that, hi, happy Mother's Day. Hello.
Hi to Chuck Morris. Good morning, Chuck Morris.
Good morning.
How
Yes.
are you?
What?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Happy Mother's
Love.
Day.
Thank you. You drinking your morning coffee?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. Is that Wawa?
Of course.
Yeah, it's Wawa.
That's funny. Did you get it free?
Hell no.
Cheap
I
ass.
wish.
They give it away free all the time. They should just give it to former employees, too.
Yeah, they should.
Especially as many years as you work there.
All the years of hard work and service, and I have nothing to show for it.
Exactly. Oh, kind of like parenthood. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, shit, David.
Do you know what he said to me this morning?
What?
He said, Happy Mother's Day. I love you. Thank you for cooking me dinners for 21 years. Oh, and cleaning my bathroom, except for the one time I did.
He's not wrong.
I know. Exactly. It was quite funny. Oh, well, I'll let y'all get back to your date.
Oh, snap. No,
Oh, snap.
we're just talking about the truth.
The truth.
Dropping facts.
The truth about what? You guys should have, like, your own podcast or something.
We're
That's
probably
essentially
not
what this
talking about
is.
point.
Life with Chuck and Dave.
Pretty much.
You guys might make money on that.
We could he posts it on YouTube every now and then.
You guys are so funny.
Do you still post it on YouTube?
Yeah, I do, man.
Dude, you gotta monetize that shit.
It's monetized. I just don't get a lot of views yet. That's what I'm working on. But where was that coming to? So here is why these people in the ketogenic community believe that they can get away with a 72-hour fast. There is a belief that a ketogenic diet is protein sparing. And the problem with that is that we don't know if it actually is. It's hypothesized that it's protein sparing. It's suggested that it might be, but nobody's actually ever proven it. And to further my claims, many individuals in the ketogenic community refer to this book, the Lyle McDonald Ketogenic Guide, a complete guide. And I've read this book. And they claim that because there's a little part in this book that says ketogenic diets, right,
Mm-hmm.
are protein sparing. But where is it? He specifically notes in here that the protein sparing effect has not actually been proven.
Been proven.
In all likelihood, contrary to popular belief, ketones are not directly anti-catabolic. There. It's straight from the book.
All right.
Although the exact mechanisms behind the protein-sparing effect of ketosis are not entirely established, there are at least 4 possible mechanisms by which ketogenic diets may spare protein. He doesn't say that it is protein sparing. He suggests that it might. And believe me, I want to believe that ketogenic diets are 100% protein sparing, and that you can diet yourself into oblivion and maintain more lean muscle mass than a normal diet. But he even says it in the book, the Holy Bible of ketogenic diets. And what the fitness industry has basically taken that as is that they turn the words may to, it might be, into fact. So if you look up, you go on Google right now, are ketogenic diets protein sparing? Everybody will say yes. When they're wrong. We actually don't know. And that's the problem with the fitness industry. We have a lot of studies that may suggest things, but they're very inconclusive. People will take them face value for fact, and they'll go to these gurus and they'll just believe everything they say when they're fucking wrong. When they actually backtrack the resources and look at the studies and do the homework themselves, they find that a lot of these guys are full of shit. And that's what pisses me off. Because people are buying into these programs and these guides which are marching on a false tide. And I want to educate people on the right way to kind of take information. You have to question things. You have to be analytical. You have to do your own homework sometimes. It's no different than like voting. You're going to do some research on the candidate. You're not just going to buy whatever Fox News tells you. You'd be a fool. Same thing with everything else in life. Don't just take one opinion. Get a collection. Look at who says what. If I was talking to my dietitian about ketogenic diets, she looked at me like I was nuts. Told me I need to be eating 65% of my daily calories from carbs. I do some research. I come to find that all dietitians are trained to tell people to eat 65% of your daily calories from carbohydrates. I'm sorry, that's too many carbs for me. I don't need that many. We're all different. For some people, that may be more than enough. But that's another example. The shit I see in the fitness industry, or general recommendations that are just not true. So.
I hardly eat any carbs at all. Bread with my lunch, and that's pretty much it unless we have pasta at night. Aside from that, not many carbs.
You definitely want to eat your carbs so you have energy throughout the day and in your workouts.
There might be carbs in my cereal now that I think about it. Cornflakes.
There's plenty of carbs in cereal, buddy. I can sit here and bitch about the fitness industry all day, but I think you get the point. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Nope.
Nope. All right, well, what time is it?
Plain and simple.
It's almost 11.
Yeah, it is.
Why don't I let you go, and then...
It was a late start for me today.
Yeah, same here. Why don't I let you go, and I'll catch up with you in the video next week, in a week, and then we'll train throughout the week, all right?
It's all good.
Alrighty, bud. It's been good talking to you. Enjoy Mother's Day with your mom. Do something nice for her.
Alright, I'll see you later, man.
I'll see you. Have a good day.
You too.